guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing my foundation and base routine, pretty much everything from primer to bronzer to everything in between. So that's all I wanted to say. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and also follow me on my social media, which will be listed over here. We'll just get right into the video. What I'm going to use to prime, so this is basically what I've been doing for my skin type. So usually my skin type is fairly normal, but as of late, because I live in Florida, it is so hot and humid, my skin has been feeling more on the oilier side than usual. And just being out, even walking to and from my car, my skin just feels like it's melting off. So I'm gonna be doing more matte techniques than anything, but still look dewy at the end, if you guys know what I mean. So I already prepped my skin with obviously my skincare routine, which includes an oil, a moisturizer, and eye cream. So you can see I'm already pretty glowy from it, but we're gonna mattify and then add the glow back later on. The first thing I'm actually going to take is my Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser. Now this is a dupe for the Benefit Pore Professional primer, and I don't know how much this is, but because I bought it so long ago, but I'll leave it down below. I'm gonna take the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in the shade Fair. So I wanted the one that is one shade darker than this. I think it's light, but they were out of stock on it. And this one already looks like a pretty translucent shade for at least my skin tone, because I'm very pale right now. So I picked it up. I'm putting a little bit on this cap here. So what I'm going to do is grab just a fluffy brush. This is the e.l.f. Flawless Face Brush, and I'm going to put this onto my primed skin before my foundation. I'm going to dip, dust off, and just put a light layer onto my skin. I like using this technique. I've seen a few people do it who are on the oilier side, so they love doing this trick. So I used to do this when I was more on the oilier side, but now that I'm more normal, I don't use that anymore. I don't use this every single day, but now that since it's summer, I've been doing it more because my skin has been so oily. The reason I like using this Maybelline Fit Me powder is because even if you use it on top of your foundation, it literally leaves your skin looking like silk. It leaves it so smooth, you can't see a pore in sight, no lines, anything. It completely smooths it out, kind of like you airbrushed your skin. So I love it, and I even like it under my foundation because it has that same effect on my actual skin, and then putting the foundation on top, and it just clears it out even more. So I love this technique. So since this is a little too light for me, I'm going to take a darker foundation, and so it brings it back to like my actual skin tone. The foundations I'm going to be using are these two together. This is the Maybelline Superstay and the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. And you're probably like, this is extremely too much, but really these foundations don't bother my skin. They don't dry up, or they don't feel like, for example, for me, the Fenty Beauty foundation by itself is way too much and way too thick, and the formula is just a no-go for me. So I'm going to mix it together on the back of my hand, and it pretty much becomes my shade. So I'm going to dot it on this side of my face first. I'm going to take a brush to blend this out. Now this isn't drugstore because I just don't, if you guys are familiar with my channel, I never used brushes before, but recently I got sent this one and I really like it. It's the Sigma Flat Kabuki brush, and it is a little pricier, but since I was never used to using brushes, I never went on went to go find a drugstore one. But yeah, whichever drugstore brush, flat brush like this you have would do. I like patting it in. And even though I use my brush now, I still go over my foundation and concealer with a BB sponge at the end. And even though this foundation is very, very matte, it's still, you can still see my glow through it. And the formula doesn't emphasize any of my texture, which I do have some acne, like not some acne, some breakouts and some scars, and it doesn't, and some whiteheads and stuff, and it doesn't emphasize it at all. The next item I actually tried out in my, I look crazy right now. So I actually tried out for the first time, well, second time, but on my ColourPop No Filter foundation review, and it's the ColourPop No Filter concealer in the shade Light 20. And the first time I tried this, I didn't like it at all. And then during that ColourPop review, I tried it and I loved it, because if you saw, I gave like an update at the end of the day, and this whole area using this concealer was the only thing that stayed, you know, non-oily and very matte still. So I absolutely love this. So I'm gonna use this today, and also a little goes a long way with this. So I recently got this brush. This is by ALLLLL. This is the Flawless Concealer Brush. So I've been kind of doing my whole face using brushes lately. I don't know why, but I've been loving it. So since I tried my foundation with a brush and I loved it, I was like, let me get a concealer brush and try and see how I like that too. So I got this one. This is like $3-4-ish at Target, and this is what I use to blend out. But again, I do go over my whole face with a beauty blender towards the end. So that's what I'm doing. So I dampened my beauty sponge. This is the Morphe, and I'm just gonna go over my whole face with this. So once that's blended out, it looks a lot better. It looks a lot smoother. I'm gonna take my, so to bring a little bit of color back into my skin, I'm gonna use my Wet n Wild Mega Glow Makeup Stick Contour in the shade Call Me Maple. And I love this. Like, I use it every day. I'm gonna take this Real Techniques contour brush to blend it out. Then I'm going to take my makeup sponge again and blend it out some more. Now for powder, I'm going to use my Airspun translucent powder to set my whole face with it. I look crazy. But now I'm going to let this bake, and then I'm just going to take a flat brush again and just lightly set the rest of my face with that same powder. So I'll be right back. Now that it's been a few minutes, you can actually see that it even soaked up a little bit into my skin. So I'm going to dust it off now. And I'm going to take my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. have like a contour palette for that's drugstore. I'm just gonna use my Kat Von D one, but you guys can completely skip this step, or if you have like the NYX one, I know they have a contour palette, and I think that's like the only drugstore one that I can think of. And for blush, of course, I'm going to be using my Milani Luminoso blush. So I'm going to put my hair up right now because this is where things get intense. So I'm going to show you. And this isn't drugstore. I'm so sorry guys, I completely forgot, but I don't have a drugstore hydrating spray as that I love as much as this one. I've tried some Wet n Wild ones and some NYX ones, but I just don't like any of them. So this hydrating spray is not from the drugstore, but it does a great job with hydrating. That is the Kiehl's Cactus Flower hydrating mist. So this is what I use to hydrate, and then I'm going to highlight, and then I'm going to go in with a setting spray. So it's levels. And you can completely see it like completely soaked up all the powder into my skin. It makes me look more like luminous and less cakey and powdery immediately. And for highlight, I'm going to take my Maybelline Master Chrome highlighter in Molten Gold. You guys know I love this one. The next thing I'm going to do is use an actual setting spray. So hydrating mist and setting spray are two completely different things. The hydrating spray is just to absorb, you know, they just made a goal. I'm watching the World Cup. Dang. Okay, so the difference between the hydrating spray and the setting spray is a hydrating spray just kind of soaks up all the powder and, you know, makes it look more radiant, but it's not actually going to help with the longevity of your makeup. And a setting spray is actually going to have, I don't know, certain ingredients in it that are going to help your makeup stay on longer. So that's why I go in with two, and this is the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. And I like this one, it feels so good. And I'm just gonna go finish up my eyes and my lips off camera and my hair, and I will be right back. Okay guys, so it for today's video. I just did my lips and my lower lashes off camera really quick, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is the outcome of it, and it looks super beautiful and pretty matte, but still dewy, if that makes any sense. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.